Welcome back to Do Myself Garage. Work continues on the 63 special. Get a radiator and a fan put in here. The fan still hasn't shown up yet, but I have the old radiator out and the new one sitting on the freezer over here. Let's see what I picked up. All right. Okay. Not too. You see, if you're looking down this way, there looks like a bunch of damaged fins, but they're just barely touched, so it looks pretty good. Let me see. Compare the outlets to my old one. See if that looks right. It is, however, I don't need the transmission cooler because this automatic is self-cooled, so I'm going to leave the caps in here. But that'll come in handy if I ever put in a different automatic. Make sure you're focused on here. Yeah, so this will come in handy if I ever get a different automatic and I need to cool it. I already have that built in. But the dual path transmission does not use liquid cooling, it's just air cooled. Crazy enough. So there we go. I like that this spout right here points up because I believe that they did that for the air conditioning cars. Mine's not air conditioned, but it helps give a little more room. So that should not be a problem with that being at an angle. Alright, I made a couple little rubber pads for inside the brackets down there, and I was a little concerned because the other one that came off only had one rubber mount under it, so I wanted to make sure I had some rubber under these. Well, that's not gonna fit. Maybe that'll show up better on camera now. I think I'm just gonna cut these. You know, I've got the bottom part of the bracket. That's all you need. I just need that foot to hold it in there. I don't know what the rest of that bracket was for. Honestly. That's a bit overkill to me. There's nothing that goes on there. Maybe the fan shroud? Bolted on that maybe? Okay, so this extra curve here is throwing me for a curve. I'm not sure if this hose is going to work. I guess I'll try it and see if I overheat, but a little bit more of a kink here than I'd like to see, but I should be able to get it to seal. If I can get it to seal, I think I should be okay. You know, once it heats up and kind of gets, yeah, a couple heat cycles, that tubing should kind of form in there a little bit better. I'll get some clamps on there. I cut off the bottom of the clamp down there to make room, so right there I cut that off. Again, this radiator it's for an automatic transmission, which I really didn't need. It kind of stinks because that means it took up a couple extra cores for the for that I don't get for regular cooling, but this isn't exactly a hot rod engine. The top part here, I had to take out the rubber insulator mount, which shouldn't be a problem because when these things are mounted solid, that's not going to really vibrate, so I'm not too worried about that actually, you know, rubbing through or anything like that. If I could find some thinner piece of rubber, then I might be able to come up with something different. So, all right, so I'm waiting on the fan. It should be here tomorrow with any luck. So I think I'm going to call it a day, and we'll be back later. I wanted to get a little bit more done this weekend, but my fan didn't show up. The clutch did, and as you can see, there's plenty of room in here. I can get my whole hand down in here. So there's plenty of room. The fan goes on the back side. As long as the width isn't too much to come over here, I think we should be just fine. But this fit on here just fine. I'll put the part numbers in the description, but that goes right on there with the 5/8, so that will be perfect for that. Then I'll have a clutch fan, and should get us a little bit of power back. This poor V6, they're not big power powerhouses, so that should help quite a bit. I need to get some tubing for this. The stuff that was on the other radiator obviously is completely hard as a rock. Okay, so one of the things I want to show you, I have all the part numbers for these. This is a Flexolite fan. This is a Flexolite 5717. And I just ran into an issue here. I was going to show you guys. It's got these tabs on the back. And you're like, it won't go on there. Well, if you wiggle, kind of tuck it in where the slots are, and you're patient enough, you can get it on here without bending or damaging anything. You kind of have to, yeah, so you had to kind of spin it once you get on there. And then the bolt pattern lines right up. All right, let's get this bolted back together. I could not find any 5/16 halves at the store, so I had to buy 3/4 and grind them back a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this together with some blue Loctite. Can someone explain to me why blue Loctite comes in a red container? It is the blue thread locker though, so semi-permanent. Oh no! Oh, I always keep it upside down. There we go. But when I brought it over here, I got distracted and didn't get to this right away. So the bottle ended up being right side up. This is just an aluminum housing for this clutch, so want to be careful with that, not to strip that. But there we go. Got that all together. Hopefully. All right, so I got the pulley set up on here. Fan and clutch. There we go. Got a little dab of Loctite on all of these. And these are a fine thread 5/16. I don't recall if I filmed it yesterday. I don't think I did, or if I even took photos, but I got all the hose clamps on the radiator hoses, got the radiator full, ran a overflow line down, went and bought some tubing for that. A lot of the little stuff you can come out and do without freezing your fingers off, you know. Okay, now let's tighten it all up. And yeah, I put a little bit of blue Loctite on all of those bolts also, if I forgot to mention that. And then I got to come up with some type of a fan shroud. Actually, I'm a little disappointed at how far this is from the radiator. I thought somebody made it sound like I wasn't going to have enough room in here. But maybe that's with like the straight 6. Did they have a straight 6 that came available? I don't think in these cars. But I think when they went with the V6, you know, that shortened this stuff way up. Really sucked it back. So, you know, I've got 5 inches here in front of this whole mechanism. I got tons of room in the front here. So it's, I was kind of hoping the fan was going to be a little closer. Because I'm going to need to have a fan shroud that comes out. They say you want to bury at least half the blades in the fan shroud. I can't find any place that has an aftermarket fan shroud that's a, you know, OEM style. Oh, apparently those brackets on the bottom, I found out later, those ones I cut off to get the radiator fit, those actually are for the fan shroud to help support it. I had somebody else that had a full fan shroud that commented on that. He sent me actually a PM because he had some parts he wants to sell, but he's not sure what he can sell because he's swapping out to a V8, to the, is it the 215 or the 225 V8 that could come in these cars. And I imagine V8, you know, now you're Now you've taken up most of that space. Will this fit on there? No, it will not fit on there. I was hoping the box end would fit, but I guess not. All right, we're getting there. Clutch fan is on. I can put the alternator belt on now. That's the last one. Power steering pump belt is already on. We're getting there. I filled it up with water last night after I tightened up all those hoses. So, yeah, we're getting there. Where the heck is that belt? So, 74.25 for the alternator, 73.70 for the power steering. They're also listed as 15.425 and 15.370, depending on, you know, what one you go by, but there's the numbers. I ended up, it was one of the belts they recommended was a certain length, and I could actually, after I did a little bit of work, I could actually read the number on the belt that was on here. So I went, I think it was another ½ an inch shorter, I believe. It's a ½ inch shorter or a ½ inch longer. Anyway, that's how I ended up with the numbers that I meant. Okay, that alternator needs to come over. Oh yeah, she's already at max tighten on the bolt down there. So I got to get a board or something in there. Well, I'm trying to show you what I'm doing here, but be honest, there's not a lot of room in here. This battery tray is in the way now. You know, trying to get things put back together. Anyway, most of the alternators will have some sort of a bolt or something on the assembly that you can turn to tighten them. But this one does not appear to have anything like that. I have a lot more slot left to go, so that's actually right in the middle of the adjustment, so that's actually good. But I don't know how I'm going to get that tight. The bolt that you tighten is right under the belt right there. Hopefully the camera can still see it after I move this whole thing. The upper bolt is just for the swivel. So this is the one that holds it in place. Well, I do not know how you pry that alternator. I don't like prying on the case itself if I can avoid it. I don't think I'm having much of a choice here. I think I'm going to have to put a crowbar in and go right in here and pry that belt while being careful not to damage the alternator. Yeah, let me get something a little stiffer than this screwdriver. I'm going to try a crowbar just because it's minimal amount of force, maximum amount of movement, you know? Mechanical advantage. But again, I don't want to damage the housing. I swear, a lot of this stuff is a two-person job. Okay, it's not moving. Let me get a small extension on there. And this is the bolt that goes into the alternator, which is aluminum, so don't go whole hog on it or you'll end up like I did. Oh, now part of me wonders if I shouldn't have put some anti-seize on that. Okay, that belt. Oh yeah, I got that. That's a good tightness. That's the one that drives the water pump too, so we should be all set. Oh, okay. I don't know how much of that you saw, but hopefully I didn't have to cut that out. But the belt is on the alternator. It's all good to go. Okay. Let's make you dizzy a little bit. Back you out. Alright, so what am I missing? Well, I'm missing a battery, but I'm also missing 3 essential wires under the hood. Oh, I shouldn't say all of them are essential. One of them's the horn, one of them's the water temp, and one of them's the oil pressure. I also have 3 wires to the fan motor, which I'm not worried about because I haven't put the dash together yet. But to start it up, I would like to have all of those working and connected to the dash, or at least have the wires running to where they need to be, because I would like to clean up this wiring and get it all under plastic tube and wrapped up or whatever I want to do. Make sure it's out of the way of exhaust manifolds and heat and vibration, and make sure the fan's not going to hit anything, you know, all that good stuff. So let me look at the dash, look how I have that wired, and cut some wires to the longer than the necessary length, and then I'll be back. Going to go do some editing and realize how long this part of the video was. So we're going to cut it here with the cooling system upgrade. I've got all the hoses, everything hooked up. There's some other work that's been done since I filmed that. I can see I'm working on the brakes. So that'll be the next video, everybody. Thanks for following along. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.